She kissed me goodbye for a business trip. 12 hours later, I got a photo that shattered everything. She said it was just work. Then her colleague messaged me and called by a name only she used. What he said still haunts me. I just started watching until I caught the moment her mask slipped. This all started about 6 weeks ago. My girlfriend of 3 years, Alina, told me she had a mandatory business trip to San Diego. Now, this wasn't unusual on the surface. She works in corporate events, and every few months she's flying off to some conference or planning retreat. I've never really questioned it before. She's polished, sharp, very articulate, and has the whole girl boss thing going on. You'd look at her and think she's incapable of doing anything wrong. The way she carries herself, you trust her with your life. The first odd thing was timing. She told me about this trip one day before she left. Usually she'd give me a heads up a week in advance, ask if I could help her pack or drop her at the airport, something normal. This time it was like, oh babe, I forgot to mention, corporate's flying me out to San Diego tomorrow morning. I'll be back Sunday night. Don't worry, I'll text you when I land. No details. That night, she was overly affectionate. Almost too affectionate. I'm not proud to admit this, but I brushed it off. I chalked it up to stress. Maybe she just needed a little more emotional support. I made dinner. We watched our usual show. She cuddled up against me on the couch and kept saying how much she loved our quiet little life. In hindsight, it felt rehearsed, like she was playing a role in a play that only she knew was ending. Next morning, she left early. I offered to drive her to the airport. She declined, said she was already splitting a ride with a coworker. Okay, I kissed her goodbye and told her to send me a photo when she landed. She said she would. She didn't. I texted around noon. No reply. I figured she was just busy, typical travel chaos. Then 6 p.m. rolled around. Still no response. Around 8, I got a text that said, landed hours ago, just got back to the hotel. Long day. Talk tomorrow. No photo. No explanation. That was red flag number 1. And I'll be honest, I tried to ignore it, but something had shifted. I felt it in my gut. The next day, I was working from home when a notification popped up on our shared tablet. Now, we both had access to this thing. It's mostly used for recipes and YouTube, nothing serious. But for some reason, her cloud photos were syncing to it again. I hadn't seen that happen in a long time. I opened it without thinking. One photo. It was her, standing on a balcony, holding a glass of wine. But it wasn't San Diego. The skyline looked off. I reverse image searched the background and my stomach dropped. It was Miami. She was in Miami. I just stared at the screen for like 5 minutes. I couldn't even process it. Why would she say San Diego and go to Miami? Who was she with? Now, I know what people are thinking. Maybe the location changed last minute. Maybe it was a connecting flight. Maybe it's just a miscommunication. But no, she lied. Clearly, deliberately, and without hesitation. So I started checking. I didn't go nuclear yet, but I did some light detective work. Her Instagram stories were blank. Her location sharing was suddenly disabled due to privacy setting. And when I called her the next day, she sounded rushed. Hey babe, I'm heading into a meeting. Can I call you back? She never did. Sunday came. She texted at 10 p.m. Flight got delayed. Won't be home till late. Don't wait up. I didn't sleep that night. I waited. She got in around 2 a.m. I didn't say anything. Just watched her walk in with the same small suitcase she always uses. No new tan. No conference swag. No nothing. She smelled like perfume I didn't recognize. Babe, you're still up, she said, clearly surprised to see me on the couch. I told you not to wait. I couldn't sleep, I replied. How was San Diego? Oh, exhausting. Back-to-back meetings. My feet are killing me. I nodded, said nothing else. She went straight to shower. The next week was weird. She was distracted, constantly on her phone, smiling to herself sometimes, jumping at notifications. I started noticing things, little things. A second toothbrush appeared in her overnight bag. A brand of cologne that wasn't mine lingered faintly on her scarf. She claimed it was a hotel hand soap, right? At this point, I wasn't even sure if I was being paranoid or actually picking up on something real. But when someone lies so smoothly, so casually, it messes with your head. I started questioning myself. That's when the second hit came. I got a call from someone I didn't recognize. Number had no caller ID. Normally I ignore those, but I answered. Some guy's voice on the other end, calm, polite, even friendly. Hey, you don't know me, he said, but you should probably know your girl was in Miami last weekend with my brother. I froze. Sorry. Who is this? Look, I'm not trying to start drama, he continued, but I saw your number saved on her phone when she left it in the room. I figured if someone did this to me, I'd want to know. Click. No name. No further info. Just that. It was like the floor dropped out from under me. I tried to keep it together. I didn't confront her yet. I needed more. The opportunity came faster than I expected. One night later, she fell asleep early on the couch, phone in her hand. I carefully slid it out, unlocked it. Yes, I know the code, and started scrolling. Most of her messages were clean, like too clean. Either she was deleting them or using a different app. Then I opened WhatsApp. A contact saved as JB2B. The chat was a mix of flirty messages, winky emojis, and conversations that had nothing to do with business. One thread said, can't wait for next weekend. I'll book the same suite. Another said, still thinking about last night. That view, your hands, everything. I didn't screenshot. I didn't need to. I saw what I needed to see, but I still didn't say a word because now I wanted to see how far she'd go, what she'd lie about next. After seeing those messages, I didn't confront her. I went to bed that night pretending everything was normal, even kissed her goodnight, but inside, I was boiling. I wasn't looking for revenge. Not yet. I just needed clarity. Proof. Full picture. Because because part of me, the dumb, loyal part, still hoped there was some explanation. Some bizarre coincidence that would explain away J, B2B, and why my girlfriend, my supposed best friend, was sending beach selfies from the wrong coast. So I started observing. First thing I noticed, her behavior around her phone changed. She started keeping it face down all the time. Silent mode. Took it with her into the bathroom, which she never used to do. Once, she literally ran out of the shower mid-shampoo when she realized she'd left her phone charging on the nightstand. I was brushing my teeth. She wrapped a towel around herself like she was protecting state secrets. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah, just remembered I needed to reply to an email. She smiled, but her voice was high-pitched off. She grabbed the phone and shut the door behind her. That was the second big red flag. So I got smarter. I stopped asking questions. I gave her space. Played dumb. If she wanted to think I was some naive, clueless boyfriend, fine, let her. Then came her next trip. She told me she had to go to Atlanta. 3-day marketing conference. Same script as before. Last minute, tight schedule, no time to talk, yada yada. I didn't react. I told her to pack light and have fun. But while she was in Atlanta, I did something I've never done before. I called her work. I didn't make up a fake name or do anything dramatic. I just called the main office line and asked, "Hey, is Alina attending the marketing summit this week?" There was a pause on the line. Alina? No, she's on PTO. I think she said she had family stuff. I thanked them, hung up, and sat there staring at the wall. She had officially, unambiguously lied again. So I called my friend Marcus. He works freelance in tech, has done some work for me before, and, well, knows how to dig. I didn't tell him everything. Just said, "I think Alina's lying to me. Can you help me track something?" He sighed. "How bad are we talking?" "Miami bad." That's all it took. Marcus gave me a simple solution. An AirTag. He even gave me one sealed, brand new. I slipped it into the lining of her carry-on the morning she left. She didn't notice. Now here's where it gets crazy. The AirTag pinged from Nashville. Nashville, not Atlanta. A boutique hotel downtown, no conferences in sight. Marcus helped me follow the movements. Her phone didn't move much, but the tag showed she left the hotel twice in 3 days. Once for food, once for what looked like a quick drive to a liquor store. Otherwise, she stayed inside with someone. I was still watching this unfold like it was happening to someone else. I kept imagining walking into that hotel room and seeing her with whoever Jay was, but I didn't act on it. Not yet. Then she came back Sunday night. This time she brought a souvenir, some tacky Nashville t-shirt, which she played off as airport impulse buy. I stared at it while she babbled on about the conference. "Oh, did you go to the panel on brand engagement?" I asked casually. It was a random name I made up. She blinked. Yeah, it was insightful. That was it. That's when I knew I had to flip the script. I started planning. I told her I was going out of town for work the following weekend. Not a lie. I just didn't tell her that work was one night away at a cabin I'd booked to think things through. Here's the twist though. I left behind a burner phone. Left it tucked into the cushions of the couch, set to record audio on motion detection. I also angled our old iPad on a shelf in the living room. Not super obvious, but not buried either. I just wanted to see if she'd bring anyone over while I was gone. I left Friday morning. By Friday night, the audio file was already 47 minutes long. I listened to it in the cabin. I heard her unlock the front door, heard her giggle. A man's voice, deep, confident, southern accent, said something like, "Nice place, babe. This your guy's stuff?" She laughed. "Yeah, he's too nice to question anything. Makes it easier." Then silence, then noises. I didn't listen further. The iPad caught them on the couch. Him on my couch. Her wearing my hoodie. At one point, she scrolled through her own phone, showed him something, and they both laughed. I couldn't hear what, but he said, "Yeah, that loser really thinks you're in Atlanta?" She just nodded. That moment, that look on her face, that smug little nod. I turned off the iPad and just sat there, alone in the cabin. No TV, no music, just quiet. The worst kind of quiet. It wasn't even the betrayal that hurt the most. It was how easy it was for her. How calculated. How confident. When I came back Sunday, she greeted me at the door in sweats, said she missed me, kissed me like nothing happened. That night, I didn't sleep. I stayed up watching her, thinking about every dinner, every birthday, every trip we ever took. I didn't feel sad anymore. I wish I could say I calmly gathered my thoughts, waited for the right moment, and sat her down like an adult to talk it out. But that's not how it went down. I waited one more day, Monday, just to see how she'd act. She kissed me goodbye like nothing was wrong, then headed to her team meeting. I watched her car pull out of the driveway and counted down the seconds until I couldn't see the taillights anymore. Then I went to her closet, found the suitcase from Nashville, still zipped. I checked the outer pocket. Her receipts were all in there. Boutique hotel in Nashville. Fancy dinner for two. A receipt for champagne and room service with a timestamp of 11:58 p.m. I took photos of everything. Then I sat down and texted her. "How was Atlanta? Conference as insightful as last time?" No reply, so I sent her a screenshot of the hotel bill. That got her attention. She called me immediately, voice shaking. "Babe, I can explain. Please just listen. Don't do anything rash." I didn't answer, just texted her. "Don't bother coming home. We'll talk when I'm ready." I left the house. I drove to my friend Marcus' place with a duffel bag. Told him everything. Showed him the receipts, the screenshot, the WhatsApp messages. He didn't say much, just kept shaking his head like he wanted to punch a wall for me. The next morning, she showed up at the house. I had the security cam feed pulled up on my phone. She stood outside for a solid 10 minutes, knocking, pacing, trying to call me. I didn't respond. Then the text started pouring in. I made a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I was lonely. You've been distant. I didn't know how to tell you. Can we just talk, please? That night, I finally answered one. I told her to meet me at a neutral place, a coffee shop we used to go to on Sunday. Nostalgia bait. I picked it intentionally. I wanted to see if she'd try and twist old memories into sympathy. She showed up wearing the same jacket I bought her last Christmas. Hair done. No makeup, tears, no excuses. Just sat down and looked me dead in the eye. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said. I cut her off. I know about the guy in Miami, the one in Nashville, the hotel, the messages. You've been cheating on me for months. You think I'm stupid. Her face cracked for a second. Then came the rehearsed tone. I was scared. I didn't know how to tell you I wasn't happy. I didn't feel seen anymore. You work so much. You mean I pay for everything? She flinched. You had a free life. Rent-free, bill-free. And while I'm busting my ass, you're out booking hotels with some guy who calls you babe in my living room. She looked down. You lied to my face multiple times. You laughed at me behind my back with him. And then, get this, she actually said, it wasn't supposed to be serious. I was going to stop. It was just exciting. Couldn't believe it. She was trying to downplay the whole thing. So I pulled out my phone, opened the video of her and Jay on the couch, and hit play. She froze, eyes wide, color drained from her face. You recorded us? No, I said. I left a device on to catch raccoons. Guess I caught something worse. She went quiet, totally shut down, like the show was over and she had no lines left. I stood up, told her I'd be mailing her thing, that she had 48 hours to find somewhere else to live, and that I'd be changing the locks, and I walked out. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. 2 nights later, I got a knock on Marcus' door. It was Alina, crying, begging. She dropped to her knees and said she was sorry. Said she'd end it with everyone, go to therapy, do anything to fix us. I'm nothing without you, she said. I stood there, just watched her. Because here's the thing, when someone betrays you that deep, when they lie that comfortably and manipulate that easily, there's no going back. You don't unsee that. You don't forget how it felt when they looked you in the eye and fed you lies while texting someone else under the table. And just when I was about to close the door, she dropped one more bomb. I'm late. I haven't taken a test yet, but I might be pregnant. I didn't say anything, just stared, not out of shock, out of complete emptiness. I shut the door in her face. I didn't yell, didn't react, just walked back into Marcus' place and sat on his couch staring at nothing for a while. She might be pregnant? That thought alone had my head spinning, and not in the I'm gonna be a dad kind of way. More like, who's the father? Because it sure as hell might not be me. I hadn't touched her in over a month before the Nashville trip. We'd been off cold. She kept saying she was tired, stressed, and I respected that. So if she was pregnant and the timeline didn't add up, it wasn't mine. I texted her later that night. If you're pregnant, take a test. I want a picture of it. Timestamp. Don't contact me again until then. She didn't respond right away. Not until the next morning. Then came a blurry photo of a digital test. Pregnant. No box. No timestamp. Just a picture. I looked at it for 10 seconds and tossed my phone onto the counter. Fake. Or old. Or someone else's. I wasn't buying it, but she kept pressing. More texts. Apologies. You're the only one I trust. I don't even know if I can do this alone. Let me prove it to you. I ignored all of them until she sent me something else. A screenshot from her email. A confirmation for an appointment at a private clinic. Blood test scheduled. Results in 24 hours. Then a final message. If it's yours, can we at least talk? I didn't reply. I needed answers, but not just from her. I remembered something Marcus said back when I first told him about the WhatsApp messages. He had asked me, you ever met any of her friends from work? I hadn't. Not a single one. Not in 3 years. So I reached out to a contact of mine who used to work at the same company, Allison. She was in HR and had always been nice to me when we crossed paths at company parties back when Alina first got hired. I messaged her on LinkedIn, casually asked if she knew who Jay B2B was. Her reply came quick. Wait, who's asking about Jay? Please tell me this isn't about Alina. I told her we weren't together anymore and left it at that. Then she called me. That's how serious she got. Jay doesn't work here. Never has, she said. But we do know who he is. I froze. She went on to explain. Jay, real name Jason, was a former vendor Alina worked with. He was let go by his company over a year ago after several complaints. Unprofessional behavior. One incident involving another female staff member. I asked her, why does this matter? She hesitated, then dropped it, because Alina didn't just lie about where she was going. She's been under review for months. She submitted fake invoices from that guy's company to get reimbursed for work travel. The last expense she claimed was for a client meeting in San Diego. You guessed it, the Miami trip. She forged it as a business expense. She'd been scamming the company, padding her getaways with Jay under the name of work retreats. And now the company was investigating. They'd already flagged her for reimbursement fraud, and she had no idea. It hit me all at once. This wasn't just personal betrayal. She was burning her entire life down behind my back. I thanked Allison and hung up. I could barely breathe. My mind was racing. I thought she was just cheating. I didn't think she was committing actual fraud and possibly facing charges. And just when I thought the insanity had peaked, I got another message. Not from Alina. From him. Jay. Yeah, this dude found me. Somehow. Through social social media, probably. He messaged me directly and said, "You really gonna blow up her life like this? She told me you two were done ages ago. Said you were abusive." I sat there staring at that sentence for a long time. Then another one came through. "If she gets fired, that's on you. You're not innocent in this either." I didn't respond, just screen captured it all. My lawyer would want it. That's when I realized something I'd been too blind to admit earlier. Alina wasn't just selfish. She was dangerous. She was lying to everyone. Me, her job, her affair partner, possibly even herself, creating multiple versions of the same life and thinking none of them would ever collide. And now she wanted me to come back, live in the same house, raise a baby, maybe not even mine. I hadn't even processed all that when the blood test results came in. She emailed me a PDF, sent it without comment, just the file. I opened it. Positive, 6 weeks pregnant, lab confirmed. Then came the message. "It's yours. Please, I'm begging. Let's fix this. I need you. We need you." I didn't even blink, because 6 weeks ago, that was Miami. The trip, she said, was San Diego. The weekend, she didn't answer her phone. The weekend, I got a call from a stranger saying she was with his brother. 6 weeks ago, she slept with someone else. Lied, covered it up, laughed about it in my living room. And now she's pregnant. After the blood test came in and she declared the baby was mine, I didn't respond. I wasn't going to argue facts with someone who manipulated reality for sport. Instead, I booked a paternity test behind her back. Not for after birth. For now. There's a clinic downtown that does early non-invasive prenatal DNA testing. All I needed was her cooperation to get a sample, blood from her, saliva from me. The clinic would handle the rest. So I reached out. I told her I was willing to meet, that if she really wanted a future, if she really believed I was the father, then she'd take the test. No excuses, no drama. She agreed. Of course she did. She thought it was her golden ticket. She showed up to the appointment on time. Acted scared, emotional, fragile. Held her stomach like a prop. The nurse asked if she had any recent medical complication. She said no, just stress. The test took less than 20 minutes. She squeezed my hand like nothing had ever happened between us. I didn't squeeze back. After it was over, she asked if I wanted to get lunch, just to talk. I told her no. Drove away without saying another word. 3 days later, the results came in. 0% probability of paternity. I sat there staring at the screen. She tried to trap me. Out of survival. Allison texted me 2 days after the paternity test. Alina had been let go. Quietly. No police. No HR drama. They gave her a chance to resign gracefully, probably to avoid headlines. She took it. The company knew about the fake invoices. They knew about the travel fraud. She'd been siphoning company money to finance weekends with Jay or whoever else was in rotation. And now that her job was gone, she needed a backup plan. That plan was me. She knew I wouldn't leave a kid hanging. She knew I had savings. She knew I had a decent job, a good reputation, a calm nature. She knew I could take care of her. So she faked a future. But the test shattered that. I sent her the result. No message, just the document. 10 minutes later she called. I let it ring. Straight to voicemail. She called again and again. Then the text started. "You're lying. That clinic messed up. I want another test. A real one. You're doing this to punish me." I stayed silent. Then came the switch. She went from pleading to threatening. "If you don't help me, I'll tell everyone what you did to me. You manipulated and used me." That's when I finally replied. She never responded. Until 2 days later, when I got a message from someone I hadn't expected in all this. "Jay." Except this time, he was panicked. "Yo, man, I don't know what she told you, but she just told me she's keeping the baby and saying it's mine. She's talking about moving in together. Bro, I'm married. I can't have this come out." Then I sent him the paternity test. Told him to book his own. He left it on read. Then came her sister. Texted me completely out of nowhere. "Please call me. It's about Alina. She's not okay." I ignored it. Then another. She got kicked out of her place. Her friends cut her off. Her ex tried to ghost her. She's spiraling. Said she might hurt herself. I sat there for a long time, thinking about whether it was real, whether I should step in, whether I was responsible for someone else's rock bottom. Then I remembered. I didn't cheat. Her spiral wasn't because I left. It was because her whole world had been built on manipulation, and finally, it collapsed. I blocked the number, packed up her last box of things, mailed it to her sister's address with a return receipt. Inside, I left a note. "This is all that's left.